This is coming as DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is expected to travel to the southern border in Texas today. Joining me now, former DHS Acting Deputy Secretary and Heritage Foundation Visiting Fellow Ken Cuccinelli. Ken, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Talking about this crisis, a person that was in your position before, a DHS official, your reaction to everything that's happening at the border and the fact that the administration is just going down to survey it now.
Yeah, well, it is self-inflicted. This is purposeful. This is not an accident. During the transition, we told them what would happen if they went this route. So it is both predictable and predicted. And they went down this route. So you have to ask yourself, why did they do that? And the answer is they want this flood at the border. That's hard for people to believe. But when you see amnesty bills going that they're backing, you understand why. So they view this as a long-term play for votes coming across that border. And they don't care that it happens by breaking the law. Just like their election bill opens the door to breaking the law. So it's a tragic situation. It is pathetic that the secretary is just getting down to the border now. Really, all they're doing is they're not trying to stop the problem. They're just trying to put makeup on a pig here.
Yeah,
and that's it.
And what you're saying, I mean, the first issue, of course, is immigration. With respect to the law, we have rules and regulations that are not being followed, and this is illegal. Anybody else that breaks the law is punished for it. At the same time, you're talking about this game plan, this longer-term play, and the administration is making a really interesting move here because it's overlooking, or at least turning its head to the humanitarian problems associated with this as well, to be able to further its own agenda. For hiding them.
Yeah, absolutely. They're burying them. I mean, when has anybody in the press gotten in the Border Patrol facilities? Can you imagine if we blocked all access to those facilities? The world would have exploded. They'd have gone crazy. The Democrats in Congress in particular were aghast, and we heard words like morality that they don't use very often associated with this issue. Well, where is that now? And it's absolutely lacking because it's a pure situational political play. These people are being used as political pawns, and it's very destructive. Even Mexico is complaining about the flood rolling through Mexico to get to our border, and the drug cartels have never been happier.
I want to play the soundbite for you and get to this before we open it up to the panel. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki walking back on a little slip she made yesterday. She referred to the border situation finally as a crisis. Listen.
That they would be partners in dealing with the crisis on the border.
You said crisis on the border. Was that a
challenges on the border?
Okay, but so that doesn't reflect any change in the administration's view of things.
Nope.
So Ken, she corrected herself with a straight face, then saying challenges. Your thoughts?
Right. Well, but first of all, she's right. It doesn't change their position. Their position is they're going to avoid saying the word crisis come hell or high water. But when you have when your facilities are overwhelmed, when your Border Patrol is overwhelmed, when you're at 6 times what the Obama Secretary of Homeland Security called a crisis, 1,000 illegals crossing a day, that's a crisis 3 times over. And everybody in America knows it. The White House knows it. And again, they're just playing this rhetorical game. I do think that you all in the media should be getting press access. You should be sending your own cameras down there, and I know you all have done that in the past. America needs to see what's happening down there and contrast it, what they're saying at the White House. The two don't match. They don't match. They're not telling the truth to the American people.
Liz Peek, jump in here.
Yeah, my question is, do we know how many Dreamers are covered under this bill and also under the bigger amnesty push for people who have been living in the country illegally? My sense is that we keep hearing the same number of 3 million. Could it be 5? Could it be 10? We don't really know, do we?
We don't really know, and that's, of course, part of the problem with the DACA bill, that if they just advanced those registered in DACA, you'd be talking about around 650,000. But that is not typically what they mean. They mean anybody who would have qualified or who was
Right.
signed up and qualified. And so, is that triple? Is it quadruple? We don't know, but you're definitely in the well over 1 million, probably over 2 million, just in that group. And then to your point, with the other bill, they don't know those numbers. They absolutely don't know those numbers. And given everything else we've seen from this administration, to the extent they think they know them, they'll lowball them in terms of what they tell us for the purpose of bringing in millions more.
Let's go to James.
Yeah, I'm wondering, we saw that moment with Jen Psaki using the crisis word.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how you see this playing out. You think the Biden administration just hopes that the world kind of forgets about this issue and kind of the status quo continues? Or do you think eventually, sort of like Ms. Psaki using the crisis word, they end up embracing some Trump policies to help or to get Mexico's help to have fewer people approaching the U.S. border?
Well, you do see them essentially using the availability of vaccines as a bribe with Mexico. Honestly, we ought to just be helping our partners to the south as they help us. And, Mexico was engaged in policing its borders. They assisted us in holding people on their side of the border when they attempted to cross illegally. And this administration pitched that all out the door. Those were literally the most effective partnership execution points. Them patrolling their southern border and the Remain in Mexico program to slow down the flow of illegal immigration, because people coming up, unlike with the Biden administration, they knew they wouldn't get in.
Right.
So they stopped coming. And that's just not happening here. So no. I do think they just hope the world looks somewhere else. It's an ostrich strategy.
Ken Cuccinelli, great to see you this morning. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful weekend.
Good to be with you all.
Thanks for watching the Heritage Foundation's YouTube channel. With more than 500,000 members, we are the nation's largest conservative research and education institution. We believe the principles and ideas of the American founding are worth conserving and renewing. Please help us further our mission by subscribing to this channel and sharing our videos with your family and friends.